Did you watch Couples Therapy with Dr. Orna, and did you sit and think, I wish that couple just split up? Or maybe you were thinking that Dr. Orna should have told her clients that the relationship wasn't working, the dynamic was terrible, and that they should just go their separate ways. So therefore, I'd sit down and go through why we as couples therapists never tell our clients to split up. In case you're new here, I'm Stephen. I'm a counselling therapist from the UK. I work with couples and individuals. So if you're interested in more about my work, then there's a link to my website in the description box below. Why is it Dr. Orna and all couples therapists don't tell their clients to split up? Well, there's many different reasons, and the first one I'll talk about is this idea of catastrophizing. So the first point is where one partner says, enough's enough, I've tried everything, but my partner isn't listening to me, and that's it now. We're going to try therapy, and if it doesn't work, then that's it, we're done. And so sometimes you get couples where they say, right, enough's enough, this is last chance to make it all work, and it's like make or break moment. And they come in with this attitude of, if they don't change their ways, then I'm leaving, I've had enough. And on the face of it, it may look like, okay, well, just tell them, that's it then, fine. If you've had enough, leave, you should both split up. But actually what's really going on underneath is that person who's lashing out, they're lashing out because they want attention. And they've tried all different ways of trying to get attention from their partner. Nothing's quite working. And so now they've come to this catastrophic moment of, okay, it's make or break. Either we go to therapy and it works and this problem's solved, or nothing's going to work and I've had enough, we're through, we're done. It's a very much make or break ultimatum to their partner. What we know, for those who work with a EFT setup like me, we know that in a dynamic where there's bad communication, there's a miscommunication, the dynamic isn't working, there's conflict between the partners, in that couple there's two roles being played out. One is the pursuer, which is the person who is reaching across the void, trying to get some kind of communication from the other side. This idea of poking the bear, trying to get anything out of them. And it could be through lashing out, it could be from shouting at their partner, it could be crying, some kind of attention-seeking move to try and provoke or trying to initiate some kind of engagement, whether it's positive or negative, they don't care. They want some kind of reaction from their partner. Meanwhile, the other partner is what we would call a withdrawer. They're retreating. They're getting this backlash. They're hearing this shout. They're crying. The anger, the frustration from the partner, and so they're retreating. They don't want to engage. They just think, if I make myself as small as possible, emotionally, physically, then they'll leave me alone. They won't pursue me further. But all that happens is the pursuer gets frustrated because the withdrawer isn't listening, they're not engaging. So the pursuer goes on the offensive even further. And there's just this constant back and forth, this kind of dance that goes on where nothing gets resolved, no constructive conversation ever takes place, but rather there's this shouting back and forth, or it's a one-sided reach across the void to try and get some kind of reaction to that idea of poking the bear. And so threatening to walk out may just be the final tactic within the arsenal of that pursuer. So when they come in as a couples therapist, we're not going to put much credence on this idea, okay, that's it. If you don't listen, I'm walking out. Because really it's just another manifestation of this trying to pursue, trying to get the other side to listen, engage in some way. Now, the second point to consider is that when a couple comes in and seeks therapy, the couples therapist, they're on the side of the couple. They're there to try and help the couple reconnect and have that positive communication. The therapist isn't there to take sides. They won't choose one partner over the other. and to listen and believe one partner or the other one. They're there for both individuals in that couple dynamic are their clients. So the therapist is not going to take sides. They will focus on the couple. So for me, in my practice, I'm always thinking about the couple as a whole. How can I help both sides reconnect? How can I facilitate that constructive, positive conversations to resolve those conflicts, to unpick that miscommunication of wants, needs, desires, and goals? Now, it may be that at the end of doing all that, after we've done all that work, it may be that the couple still decides, okay, this is not quite working, we've patched up, we've communicated, but we're two different people now. We're wanting different things. So even though we've communicated well, we've resolved the conflicts, we've found the points where the issues are arising, but those issues might be, it's because we want different things. And so they may decide to then split up, to separate, but that's their choice to make. It's never for me as a therapist to say, right, I think you should break up. That's the last thing I would ever say. So just like Dr. Orna in couples therapy, she never tells the couple that they should break up. Even if she may think it in the back of her head, she's never going to tell them outright. And the same for me in my work, in my practice. I never tell a couple to break up. So in addition to making these videos, as I say, I am a working therapist and I do see couples. I see couples online, and before I do any kind of work with anyone, I always offer a free 30-minute video call first. This initial call helps me and you to see whether I'm the best fit for you, to work out your needs, what kind of expectations you have for therapy, and to see whether it aligns or not. If you're interested in arranging one of those phone calls, the link to my website is in the description box below. Now, following on that point of the therapist being on the side of the couple, as I say, they're never going to tell the couple to break up, but it's up to the individual. Now, some partners, they come into therapy with the intention, with the aim for the therapist to tell them that they should split up, because they're too scared to tell their partner. They don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation of, after 10, 15 years, okay, I want a divorce, I want to separate. So they think, if I come into therapy, I can get the therapist to tell us that we should split up. That's not going to happen. When we think of Perls, for example, Fritz Perls, one of the things that he wrote about in Gestalt therapy is this idea of responsibility. And at the end of the day, it's your responsibility, it's your relationship. So yes, as a therapist, I'm here to help you recommunicate. I will do all those things. I will facilitate that conversation, but I will not take the responsibility of telling you that you should split up. So if you want to split up with your partner, it's you and your responsibility to do it. So do not think that you can come into therapy and pass the buck. It also feeds into that idea or that notion that if couples split up, then the therapist isn't very good. And that's just not true. It's simply to say that it's up to the couple and to the couple's responsibility. It's their relationship, not the therapist's. Now, what therapy can do, what it can provide, is an opportunity for a couple to split up in a healthy way. So if you are in that position where you're thinking, okay, I want to split up, I want to leave my partner, my spouse, and I want to do it in a careful way, maybe the partner, maybe the spouse hasn't accepted that you want to move on, you want to leave. Therapy can provide a good space for decoupling, we call it. This idea where a couple splits up, but they do it in a healthy way, because in effect, it's quite similar to the grieving process, because you're now mourning the relationship. You're saying, okay, well, there's a whole chapter of my life that's now come to an end. And if you're the partner who hasn't initiated the separation conversation, it can be quite overwhelming, because You, in your mind, you believe that this relationship was working well. All of a sudden, your partner wants to separate, they want a divorce. Where's that come from? And you now feel very passive in that. You feel like it's been done to you. So the idea of being in therapy to sort of decouple and to break up in a healthy way is really using some of those techniques, some of those steps that we use in bereavement work to help the partner move on and transition beyond relationship, especially if there's children involved. That can be quite a complex, emotionally quite a complex scenario to be in. So I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into the rationale behind why, couples therapists, particularly Dr. Orna in that series, why we don't tell couples to split up. If you'd like to know more about my work, as I said before, there's a link in the description box below. And if you found this video useful, then please give it a like, because it helps grow my channel, and get the word out there more about therapy in general, about couples work and existential work that I look into. And also don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.